does it mean more globally to the whole arena, would you say? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick. It looks like President Trump is increasingly frustrated with what should be a U.S. ally that seems to be playing both sides. Trump is trying to open the Strait of Hormuz for free international shipping and is worried that a separate deal between the Islamic Republic of Iran and Oman could undermine that effort. Remember, Iran wants to place tolls on the Strait of Hormuz. It has offered to split those tolls with Oman in the past, and that undermines American leadership. So you see here President Trump looking at Oman and saying, we're trying to open the Strait of Hormuz for the whole world. We don't want to accept you undermining American leadership by cutting a side deal that will see you taking tolls from opening the Strait of Hormuz in a way that surrenders it to Iranian control and surrenders it to Iranian piracy.
Eylon, those with good memories will remember we heard pretty much the same thing in May, and it didn't have much effect then. Why does he imagine it might have any effect now?
Well, quite. This is the second time we've seen these statements from President Trump, and that reflects his frustration that allies in the region that are threatened by the Iranian regime are not throwing their lot in completely with the United States and are trying to hedge their bets. And here is the big risk in the Middle East now. That to the extent countries fear that the United States will step back from the Strait of Hormuz, wash its hands of the region, retreat to an isolationist stance, they're looking over their shoulders at the big bad Iranian beast, wondering if they have to hedge their bets by appeasing it. And President Trump here is wanting to make sure that countries stand up to the Iranian regime, that they form a regional coalition that will confront that Iranian aggression instead of thinking that they need to appease it because it's the big bad bully in the region and only it will remain.
Lastly, broadening it out a bit, you'll be aware President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, along with former British Prime Minister Sir Tony Blair, has had meetings with Hamas leaders and has also moved on to meet with Benjamin Netanyahu. An overview of that, Eylon?
Well, I fear that Hamas leaders think that they can play the American administration like a fiddle, and it's a mistake. Hamas has made itself absolutely clear that it has no intention of disarming. It wants to try to use that control over weapons to force an Israeli withdrawal. And the Americans need to be absolutely clear now, and it's important we heard that clarification from Jared Kushner, that there can be no reconstruction in the Gaza Strip without the full disarmament of Hamas. It's simply a question that no one is going to want to put a penny into rebuilding buildings in Gaza if they're going to be taken over by terrorists. We're going to be building tunnels underneath. So we need to make sure that the process for disarmament means Hamas's total disarmament, the total demilitarization of Gaza. I think that Jared Kushner is a bit optimistic when he says that Hamas should be given one last chance to prove that it's serious. It's perfectly clear that it's not serious. It wants to hold on to its arms to prepare another October 7th. But important that the Board of Peace in Israel have now set up those working groups to focus on disarmament and demilitarization. Everyone's common goal is to make sure that no October 7th can happen ever again, and Gaza is a de-radicalized, terror-free zone.
Always enjoy speaking to you. Thanks for your time.